Center.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys have a game tomorrow, and they may be without rookie corner Kalen Carson, who is starting in place of the injured Deron Bland. He and safety Marquise Bell both did not practice today and are listed as doubtful. The Texans may get some help in the backfield as running back Dameon Pierce was back at practice from his hamstring injury, likely to play this week, according to Aaron Wilson.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's on the radio at 94.1 FM. If you happen to be listening via our streaming app on our website at sasportstar.com, the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're listening and watching on YouTube, of course, all of our shows broadcast on YouTube at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can go ahead, like, subscribe. That is also our socials for both X and Instagram. So go ahead, drop us a follow. Hope y'all enjoy the content because that's what we're about. And the Dallas Cowboys are great content. Already up in the bullpen on our YouTube page, DJ Fresh and Fred Records. Welcome into the show. Listen, it is high time for the Dallas Cowboys. And you don't want to call anything this early in the season a must win, but for the Dallas Cowboys, it feels like they are circling the drain after their last two performances at home. And if you go back to the playoffs last year, last three, and their win over Cleveland may say more about Cleveland than it did about Dallas, because it has been the same story dating back to Green Bay at home. Can't stop the run, getting crushed early. Things have just spiraled out of control for the Dallas Cowboys. And listening to people in Dallas, it has been frustration, searching for answers, a lot of different emotions coming out of the Cowboys locker room right now. And earlier today on the morning huddle, Rob Thompson and AJ Hoffman discussing the Cowboys, their failures. Is it Jerry? Is it Dak? What is the main source of the Dallas Cowboys struggles, at least this point early in the season?
You were asking me during the break, what kind of buyer's remorse do I think that Jerry Jones has? And first of all, he'll never talk about it now.
No, he never. The money he saved, that's what he's telling himself and everybody around him. I saved money.
And I've heard Jerry Jones probably, you know what, I'll play a clip, and I want you to tell me how many times you've heard him say something akin to this in the last 2 weeks.
I think that what we didn't fix against the Ravens will ultimately get fixed. That's not just optimism. I like our personnel. I like the way we're going about fixing it. It's pretty apparent we've got some pretty glaring areas that we can get better in, and I think we will.
You know what? It just struck me just now. He acts like he's not the general manager.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the other guy's doing all the moves.
I got to tell you, man, Jerry Jones needs to be real careful about all this. I like the personnel. because if it doesn't work out, what are you going to say?
Like, oh,
I
that general
thought
manager
I
sucks.
thought I liked the personnel, but our guys are just no good. And I guess you can always say, well, they just weren't getting coached right. But whoever the Cowboys hire as their next head coach, should McCarthy not be the head coach, is not going to be as accomplished as Mike McCarthy is in this league. So I would be very cautious if I were Jerry Jones playing up how great your roster is when the results are bad, because at some point you're going to have to look at yourself and go, okay, maybe I didn't build this team the right way. I think that's coming. They said that was Jerry on the fan.
Before we move on from that, that's also when you keep saying as the owner / general manager, and you can put the / wherever you want, the personnel's fine. That's an indictment on your staff. Whether you mean it or not, you're telling us, well, the talent's good because I got them there. It's the coaching. That's what you're saying without
Rob,
saying it.
You don't have to say it. Rob, Jerry paid everybody this offseason except one guy.
Yeah.
Why is Mike McCarthy still when Dak got paid, CD got paid? Why is Mike McCarthy not paid yet? Because Jerry's looking for the fall guy.
Yeah, you're the patsy, Mike. You might not know it.
You are the fall guy. Now, with the contracts the way they are, Jerry doesn't want to pay Dak not to play quarterback. Jerry doesn't want to pay CD not to run routes. He damn sure doesn't want to pay Mike McCarthy not to coach games. And Mike McCarthy's the easiest head to roll right now.
I'll tell you.
And if they lose this game, now, do I think that they'll probably let him finish out the season? I think so. But I don't know, man.
Bye week is Jerry's done bye week before.
Well, here's what they asked Jerry on the fan. What gives him so much confidence that this can get taken care of?
Well, I think we were 2-3 last year, and we ended up winning 12 games during the regular season. Now, we weren't as ready as we'd like to have been for the playoffs, but I think that we're certainly learning about what not to do. That's for sure. We played some pretty top competition early. This Cleveland, this Baltimore, this group of teams in that division are really tests for us as we get ready for our first game, of course, in our division against the Giants this week. But all in all, I do think that while we're disappointed without a doubt and can really see how we need to really put this thing better together as a team, more coordinated. And I'm not just saying within the defense, I'm saying defense, offense, the entire area. I think we have a chance to improve on this. And that's the big thing. We're not hitting on all cylinders. If we were, that'd be real concerning.
Well, here's the good thing. And, this sounds kind of obvious, but what Jerry said is kind of obvious. You can't be much worse. Okay. And there's obvious room for improvement with what you've done the last 2 weeks. Like, I mean, who doesn't have room for improvement? Does Tennessee have room for improvement right now? Yeah. They've lost 3 games. The Bengals obviously have room for improvement. All these, everybody who's 1-2 or 0-3 has plenty of room for improvement. Hell, the Kansas City Chiefs have room for improvement. They're 3-0. I mean, they could easily be 0-3, but the Chiefs haven't played their best ball by far. The question is, can you be worse than you've been? Can the Cowboys is it possible for them to look worse than they have in the last 2 weeks? I kind of tend to argue the answer is no. But if they play the way they did last week, like if you show up the way you did against the Ravens, against the New York Football Giants, maybe they can be worse. I just can't picture that happening. I think that when we come in, I'll talk to you on Monday about this Cowboys game. And when we talk about the Cowboys, we're going to say, okay, that's what they can be. I think this is a get right week for them. And I think Jerry sees that. And that's why he's saying, we're not playing at our full potential yet, obviously. But I think that they are all looking at this week as no matter how bad things have gone, Luckily, we get the Giants.
I thought that going in against Baltimore that this was a team that just needed to get into focus, that you could kind of see what in Cleveland that, yeah, the defense looked hot and the offense can move the ball and just need to kind of come into focus. Then they got boat raced, hoodwinked. They didn't expect it. They were, just sabotaged by New Orleans, but it might have made them reevaluate. This offense is not just out of focus. The defense just isn't out of focus. It's a manpower issue. And you can fix scheme, you can fix timing, but if you ain't got the dudes, you can't scheme your way out of it in the NFL. You cannot. You have got to have the talent. And if you can't do that early on, there ain't no fix coming around the bend. I think we're headed for a cataclysmic problem if they lose tomorrow night.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Brian on the Brigade Bar says, when's it going to be time to put the blame on Dak Prescott, a guy who cannot lift up his team? Are we going to wait to start blaming Prescott for not doing anything on offense? Listen, that's sort of the rub with Jerry signing this deal. We can blame Dak all we want now. Dak's the quarterback of this team, and that's not changing. Like, Dak's not going anywhere now. This would have been a decent conversation to have had Jerry not given Dak the money.
Right.
And we could really have that conversation about, man, how much of this falls on Dak? How responsible is Dak for this? And Dak is certainly responsible. But Dak right now has what like we would call immunity. Dak could literally play like Bryce Young has played for the last 2 years, and Dak would still be the quarterback of the Cowboys. And they adjust everything they can to make it not look as bad. But Dak's not going anywhere now. You're married to Dak, and you're married to Dak with no prenup. If Dak leaves, he puts it so deep in you that Jerry's fun baby's going to feel it.
Well,
it's
Dak is who we thought Dak is Dak. What are you talking about?
Well,
Dak is exactly who Dak has been. Dak will continue to be the best front-running quarterback in football. You give him a 2-touchdown lead, Dak will look like Tom Brady. That just goes without saying.
This is not me like saying I was right in hindsight. And I think Rob agreed with me when I said this. Paying Dak once it got after training camp, paying Dak now is dumb.
It's stupid.
Now you've gotten to the point of no return. Let him play it out. And if he balls out, if he goes out and he looks like Josh Allen's looked through 3 games, you're going to pay him the moon. But you know what? Whatever. But if he doesn't, you at least have the option. You know what I mean?
AJ, that is one part of the problem. That is in the long term, when we look at what the Cowboys did and what Jerry did and how he handled this, that, the money he got, I think, that's one part of the problem. The most important part of the problem was the signing an hour before kickoff.
It made no sense.
That was, if you were going to sign him, you should have done it 3 weeks ago and even paid a little bit more, but you'd have had money and you'd have had Derrick Henry. And all of the questions that we were talking about over the last 2 weeks about your inability, well, at least you'd have had a back that would have broken a tackle. You'd at least had a back that would have picked up a first down or two, and you probably would have won one of those 2 games. And all of this would have been taken care of, but you didn't do it right. You paid wrong, and then you paid it at the wrong time.
Rob Thompson, AJ Hoffman, every morning, 6 to 10, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Yeah, they paid wrong. They paid at the wrong time, and it cost them the ability to put pieces around that would help this team, whether it's Derrick Henry or it's guys in the middle of that defensive line that can actually eat up blocks and allow the linebackers to flow to tackles. That starts at the top. So that comes down to, is there now an issue, or has there always been an issue with the culture of the Dallas Cowboys? Jason and Joe discussed that earlier today on The Blitz. We'll discuss coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-550-8841. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-550-8841. That's 800-550-8841. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Shop Macy's VIP sale starting Thursday. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends from designers that rarely go on sale. And save 15% off skincare, makeup, fragrances, and more. Plus, shop fall specials for even more great deals on top brands at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text KETTLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's KETTLE to 321-321.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah.
Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah.
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Paid for by Hims & Hers Health. Hims & Hers Weight Loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs. With Hers, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans online, like compounded GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, all for as low as $199 a month with a 12-month plan paid up front. Get started at forhers.com/afford today. That's forhers.com/afford.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Appreciate y'all for riding along. As we just heard from the morning huddle, Jerry had his issues this offseason. We've known about them all offseason. And it's cost the Cowboys the potential to improve this team from last year. And now they're hoping on a whole bunch of young players. And while they've found some hits, I like what I've seen from BB and Guyton. It's out on Maristal. Nealon looks like he's a hit. Carson has been an early surprise for the Dallas Cowboys. You're relying on too many hits from the draft from rookies to be able to contribute immediately. And you're flying without a safety net by doing so. And the slow start because of how last year ended and how their first two home games have gone this year seemingly have already started to eat away at the team as they're done talking about certain issues, like Jordan Lewis when talking about the defense just not being detailed as they're learning Mike Zimmer's new scheme.
It's a new season. It's a new football team. New things we got to get better at. Well, same things we got to get better at. Be detailed.
Is the preparation on a short week a little bit, I guess, easier to come by when it's a division opponent, someone that you are familiar
It's the NFL. Preparation going to be the preparation. It doesn't make it any easier. People going to be gunning for us, and we just got to be detailed, honestly. And that comes with, today's practice and the game.
You said people are gunning for you. Why?
You're not detailed.
Because they think you're vulnerable?
We're not detailed in our work. You can take advantage of details. So that's how you win in this league. Everybody's good in this league. It's the details that make you different.
The new scheme with Zim and all that, but a lot of you guys have played together for a while. Is it surprised that the details are something that's coming up?
That's always been a problem.
It's always been a problem. And he's right. And Jason Rodriguez says on our YouTube live, Pledge, Cowboys simply can't stop the run. Aaron Jones lit them up in the playoffs. 49ers do so every time they play. And this past Sunday, the Ravens, and of course the Sunday before that, Alvin Kamara, well, they still haven't stopped the run. They haven't for 2 years. They couldn't stop the run back when Tony Romo was the quarterback. This has been consistent throughout every iteration of the Dallas Cowboys. This isn't just under Mike McCarthy. This isn't under anybody else. And under Dan Quinn, they got out the leads and they were able to unleash the defense. And it was something that they were able to take advantage of. And you hear guys like Micah Parsons talking about if the message that's being relayed in meetings is being received.
It's very hard to tell, right? Because everyone's nodding their head like, yeah, we all agree. But at the same time, like, it's not equal when it's out there on the field. Too prideful to I feel like as a competitor, like at some point you got to be prideful enough to say, hey, like, I'm not going to allow this to happen to me. Like, I just feel like some people are just allowing them to keep getting smacked in the face. Like, when are you going to stand up? Like,
earlier, Micah openly questioned effort. Now he's questioning basically their heart and toughness with that soundbite. And the Blitz earlier today was talking about those comments from Micah and how it relates to the culture of this team.
Look, the whole defense has been bad. I don't think that it's interesting to me that Micah says that, and there's some guys there that maybe aren't playing as hard as Micah expects them to play. But I don't think you can point to one guy on that defense and say everybody's been playing bad except that guy, because I think all 11, whoever are out there, nobody has been able to do anything. So it's a tough pill to swallow, but Micah's going to keep pointing it out, obviously, regardless of what Steven thinks or Mike McCarthy thinks. And, somebody's got to do it. And when you start looking at a culture, and I know everybody wants to blame Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and everybody else named Jones, but you got to look at Mike McCarthy square in the face. And he's the head coach of this football team. And if there are some guys, they see the tape, they watch the tape, and I wouldn't be surprised if Micah's pointing this stuff out in the film room.
Sure.
I mean, so they see it. So where are the consequences for guys that if they're not putting the effort that they need to put in, there's got to be consequences for those guys.
There does. And to your point, Jerry Jones has set a culture there. And because Mike McCarthy has no contract beyond this year, will he be the first fired? Will he be the second fired? I mean, you already got Stephen A. calling for Bill Belichick.
Jeez.
All of this could have been avoided by Jerry Jones. The whole Bill Belichick conversation isn't a segment on First Take today or yesterday if Mike McCarthy got an extension. Now, as soon as Dak Prescott signed his deal, knowing how how Dak and Mike McCarthy work well together, and he's the offensive coordinator, you're not signing Dak and going to change the coordinator again. So why not just take that talking point off the table? But no, Jerry loves being the storyline, and that's a great storyline. Bill Belichick to the Cowboys. Will it work?
We've been sitting here all offseason predicting that this would happen.
Yes.
Cowboys get off to a bad start
in week 3.
And Mike McCarthy, everybody's going to be calling for his head and calling for Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick would be a monumentous mistake. Monumental mistake.
Yeah, monumental
mistake.
Yeah.
Or monumentous, whatever. That
sounds like that requires a shot.
Sounds like a good word.
You got the what?
A monumentous.
Ooh, that's
yes,
bad.
That's bad stuff.
Yeah, don't brag about that.
I do. And I, look.
It burns?
Again, well.
Let's just told me it burns in the It would burn to hire Bill Belichick. It would burn Jerry because it wouldn't work.
I just don't know why everybody's going there. And I heard, what was it, Jeff Saturday today talking about how he'd fix the culture and he'd fix this. And okay, I don't know, maybe he would. I'm not denying that Bill Belichick is a good coach. And I think he's a fine coach. But we saw Bill Belichick and what he did after Mr. Tom Brady left. And it wasn't much. And I just don't think it would be a good idea to bring him in there and have Bill Belichick deal with Jerry Jones and everybody else that he's got to deal with. I think that would be a huge mistake for the Cowboys.
Well, Bill Belichick is obviously not a great drafter. A hell of a coach, but not a great drafter. So, no.
And here's the thing. Jason on our YouTube said it hadn't stopped the run in 2 years. It's been way longer than that. And that's not a McCarthy specific issue. That dates back to Wade Phillips. That dates back to Jason Garrett. That dates back because Jerry Jones, he is the culture of the Dallas Cowboys. And it doesn't matter if you bring in Bill Belichick or Bobby Slowick or Ben Johnson or anybody. Because the culture of the Dallas Cowboys starts at the very top. The culture of an organization starts at the very top and trickles down. And when it's been consistently the same throughout multiple iterations of coaches, players, quarterbacks, you got to follow the lead up. And Jerry Jones, loves the drama, but drama can be divisive. And you notice a lot of the teams that can block out noise from the outside and keep the noise to a minimum end up being pretty good. Like Buffalo. Right now, no noise from the outside. They're doing pretty good for themselves. And as far as Bill Belichick, I think Andrew Hawkins had probably the best representation about what getting him to the Dallas Cowboys would be. And it's the absolute perfect quote.
Look, if you put a king in the circus doesn't look like a palace. The king looks like a clown.
Ooh.
Okay, nailed it.
That's it. The circus is the Dallas Cowboys. Whether it's a king or not, he looks like a clown the circus doesn't look like a palace. And I think that is a beautiful wordplay by Andrew Hawkins on Get Up. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. I am James Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, are the Astros a dynasty? Well, we'll discuss. I'll discuss with you, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, and we'll get the Morning Huddle's opinion. Rob and AJ had a nice little discussion after they clinched their 7th division title in the last 8 years and 4th straight, and have made 7 straight ALCSs. Is that dynasty worthy with a couple of World Series in there? Let's discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
George gets justice. At George Selling Us Injury Lawyers, our motto is simple. George gets justice. But what does that mean for you? It means you get an award-winning team of attorneys who will fight for everything taken from you so that you can get back to what matters in life. When we say George gets justice, it's just not a motto. It's a commitment to you. Call us at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Connecticut quality water softeners. They are studs of water softeners, that's for sure. Got one in my house, and I tell you what, it is really a game changer. There's no question about it. I didn't think there would be a difference, but there is. Connecticut is absolutely the best. Look, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America. And you know as well as I do, you live in San Antonio and South Texas, well, water softener is a must because the water is hard. It can do a lot of damage. And why not have the best? Give them a call at 656-PURE, 656-7873, because when you do that, they're going to put a Connecticut quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. You heard me right. 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. If you don't like it after 90 days, they'll come take it out. You don't owe them a dime. Call Connecticut. You won't regret it. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the HEB Plus, located at 9238 North Loop 1604 West in Bandera Road in San Antonio from 9 a.m. to noon on Sunday, September 29th. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by HEB.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me this evening. You just heard it. Join AJ and Rob every morning, 6 to 10. They had a great debate this morning, considering they haven't won back-to-back. They only have 2 World Series titles. Are the Astros a dynasty?
Houston Astros on to the playoffs again. Not really a shock that they're in the playoffs.
Death, taxes, and the Stros taking it. 7 straight years, 4th in a row, 7 straight
ALCS appearances. That's good. That's real good, actually. Have not missed the playoffs since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2016.
They're the 3rd seed.
At the moment. But yeah, this is they're not what it doesn't seem like they're what they've been the last couple years.
But who is? You know what I mean?
That's kind of the deal, right? Like, well, not everybody. I guess the Dodgers aren't what we thought they were going to be. The Dodgers are supposed to be the best team in baseball. They haven't been. The Braves were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Braves might not even make the playoffs. I think this is one of those years where you get to the dance, you got a chance.
And I think we like that until it shakes out where you get the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. I think we love the idea that it's fun and everybody got a chance until teams that you think probably don't deserve a chance are still in it.
No, that's true. But there's been years past where, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the country who in 2019 didn't want to see the Astros play the Nationals.
No, but they wanted to watch the Stros. I think there was still some of the
they wanted to hate the Astros.
Yeah, I think there was enough hatred for people to tune in and hope.
Yeah. This is really an unprecedented run that is, if the Astros could win another World Series, this starts to become a legit dynasty. Like, if you say since 2017 you won 3 world championships and you were playing for multiple others, I think that's a dynasty, right?
Yeah.
Or do you need a back-to-back in there?
See, as a Spur who never got one, if you're not going to get back-to-back, you better be good for 6-8 years. You better be.
This would be a Spurs-like dynasty. It'd be a Spurs-light dynasty.
I think very much. It's not.
The number won't match, but I do think like the fact that every year you're in the Final Four, it's so hard to get there. If you're in the Final Four for 8 straight years and you win 3 championships in that run,
dynasty,
and you lose in the World Series 2 other times, right? That's a dynasty.
But I do think that for those that still remember the cheating, and there's probably most of the country will always attach that to the early part of this run, that another title is desperately needed to kind of quell that.
See, I think the 2022 title, like the fact that they did it with basically almost a whole new crop of players,
kind of erased it.
To me, it did, but
everybody's
going
to mind too. I think the same, but I know there's lots across the country that as soon as you mention the Astros, they beat a trash can and start ripping off the shirt to see if they like his tape.
And I'll tell you what, though the Astros haters were, they were writing the obituaries in June. It was over finally. Comeuppance for these scumbag Astros, these cheaters. And sure enough, go on a run. It's hard to kill this team. and they've had about as bad a luck as you can have when it comes to injuries.
Yeah.
Going into this season, you could have argued their best player, Kyle Tucker, he's hardly played. Justin Verlander's hardly played. They've had multiple pitchers, three guys just done for the season. 3 of their starting 5 in the rotation to begin the year, out for the year. And they keep finding a way. I'm not writing them off. Like, I don't know why. First of all, they own the Yankees historically. Like, this group has just been the Yankees' daddy. And so that's the team to beat in the AL, right? That's who everybody's looking at as the boogeyman.
And he's right. And I agree with the Spurs analogy. Back-to-back doesn't necessarily mean if you have a sustained period of greatness, and 7 straight ALCSs, 4 World Series appearances, 2 World Series titles. And if this team makes a run to the ALCS or the World Series, it's like the Atlanta Braves of the 90s. They only have 1 World Series, but they were there every single year, it felt like. That's a dynasty. That is a team that someone cannot get over the hump on. I consider the Buffalo Bills of the 90s that went to 4 straight Super Bowls a dynasty. They didn't win one, but the AFC ran through Buffalo. Death taxes and the Bills were in the Super Bowl. That was it. Now they ran into the actual dynasty of the NFL during that period with the Dallas Cowboys. But they had their chances. I think we focus too much on back-to-backs when it comes to dynasties. It is a long, prolonged period of greatness. And I think the Chiefs are in that territory right now, and the Patriots were definitely in that territory, being relevant for over 20 years. Now, granted, they had a back-to-back, and outside of Kansas City, they're the last to have won a back-to-back. But prolonged greatness over a period of time, that's a dynasty. When the rest of a league looks up to you and you're the barometer, you're the dynasty. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, you can catch Rob and AJ every morning from 6 to 10 right here. And we're going back to the Cowboys because, man, Cowboy fans have it bad right now. And none bigger than that of RJ Ochoa of Blogging the Boys. Man, he is going through one right now with what the Cowboys, between the offseason, how the season ended last year, and how this season has started. My man RJ needs prayers. We're going to hear how bad it is for RJ Ochoa coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you love cowboy boots, you'll love this news. A new Tacova store is coming to 5300 Broadway in Alamo Heights. Inside, you'll find the finest handmade cowboy boots, Western apparel, and accessories for men and women. While you shop, enjoy complimentary drinks, boot shines, custom hat and boot branding, and more. Check out the Tacova's grand opening at 5300 Broadway in Alamo Heights, Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th. Enjoy live music and free swag for the first 50 folks in the door daily. Tacova's, don't go gently.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com. Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at tsaog.com.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Good morning, doctor. Doctor? Hi, doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
With Progressive, you get more than savings. You get access to us through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
Oh, I see what you're doing here, Jamie. Giving me all these ways to stay in touch, so I have no excuse not to. Well, you're in luck, because this guy's in the market for a new BFF.
Actually, all our customers can contact us this way.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just kidding.
But I am always up for Taco Pizza!
Jigsaw! Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Follow me on all the socials at I am Pledger. Look, I get it, Cowboy fans. It's not great right now, and there is no bigger Cowboy fan I know than that of RJ Ochoa, who might have it the worst right now as we're checking the temperature earlier today on RJ's state of mind going into this game against the New York Giants tomorrow night.
RJ Ochoa will be listening on 94.1, don't you think?
I think he rides the emotions of one Brad Sham during a broadcast. Let's ask him. As RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com joins us here on the Buyers Barricades guest line. On the ledge or off the ledge right now, RJ?
I'm in the air. The ledge is in the rearview mirror, baby. Like I'm falling with gravity, 9.81 meters per second squared. The floor is getting closer, and I'm just kind of soaking in the sunlight on the way down.
But RJ, all I've been hearing, this is a get-right game. The Giants are kind of like a forgotten conclusion. I mean, that's what I keep hearing over here. Don't you think?
That's true, in a theoretical sense, and the Cowboys might get right, but I mean, if I went to a par 3 course and came back and said, hey, Joe, I shot 75, you'd be like, oh, hell yeah. You'd be like, yeah, well, the par is like, par is like, you know what I mean? It'd be a very difficult and awkward conversation. And so, look, are they the worst team in the NFL? No. Are they even a bottom third team? No. But the reality is they are a very, very average team. And they are going to get dog walked more often than they want. And all of the issues that they have weren't preventable, because nothing ever is in sports, but they were all foreseeable and they all could have been addressed. And here we are. Look, the reaping is awesome, or the sowing, I should say, is awesome, but the reaping is where we're at now, and the reaping really sucks.
Yeah, look, there are lots of areas that the Cowboys need work on. Run game is one of them. Buddy of mine that lives in New Jersey just texted and said at least the forecast for tomorrow is better, because apparently it was supposed to be nasty rain. Now that's not the case, because when you don't have a run game, a rain game could be a problem.
That's true. And I mean, here's the thing, like, the Giants don't have the best run defense in the NFL. It's rainy, or projected to be somewhat rainy, to your point. That's conducive, at least in a, narrative sense, to running the ball. So this is it, right? Like, if you can't get it done now, when can you? And while I understand it's a get-right game, I mean, obviously, in the deep recesses of our minds, we're all saying, well, what happens if they lose? This would be a different kind of loss. It's one thing to lose to the Saints, and it's another thing to lose to the Ravens. I know that New Orleans lost last week, so our interpretation of who they are is still up in the air. But if you lose to this team, this is little brother, right? Like, this is the son beating dad at pickup basketball when the dad's not letting him anymore. Like, this is it actually happening. This would be a different kind of straw breaking the camel's back, which is why it is kind of a tenuous sort of evening.
Well, and it is kind of scary in that respect, right? Because you can't just assume, even though the Cowboys have owned the Giants as of late, certainly Dak Prescott owns the Giants, you can't just assume they're going to go up there and win this football game, because anything can happen in the NFL. And that's what makes this game scary, especially after what you've seen the last 2 weeks, because you're right, RJ. Cowboys go up to the Meadowlands and lose this game. I mean, that sky is going to collapse. It's not going to fall.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how or what we all think of the Steelers right now, but they play the Colts on Sunday, and I think I don't know what you guys picked, but I think we're all probably going to pick Pittsburgh. So you'd have to wait on this for a week and a half. You'd have to sit on it, and all Friday morning. I mean, it would be a just parade of people dunking on the Cowboys if they lost. And if this was the Malik Neighbors, coming out party, something like that, and then you got to wait, and you maybe got to go to the house of the undefeated, mighty Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, people have thrown out the question this week, like, well, if you lose on Thursday, do you fire Mike McCarthy? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know of anything that could cause that to happen mid-season. I vividly remember after the Cowboys lost to the Bears on Thursday Night Football in 2019, I remember running to the station that Friday morning with Jason and Rob, because we thought that Jason Garrett was going to get fired, and he didn't. So I think that they're content to let this ride out. But a loss tomorrow marks the official beginning of the end in my mind. And it's not supposed to be this intense and this scary in September. Like, the team hasn't even changed yet. I mean, it's really depressing that it's this dire at this point of the season.
That was RJ Ochoa earlier today on The Blitz. You can catch him every single Wednesday at 4:30 as he joins them. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Make sure to join Rob and AJ early tomorrow. And of course, join the Blitz out at Pari's Pizza on 281. They are getting people registered for tickets to Lions, Cowboys, and those Bill Bates Ultimate Tailgate passes. This has been the Extra Innings with Pledge. Cowboys Crosstalks coming up next.
94.1. Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at